Yes, it really is a marvellous setting. A sea of green and white at both ends of the field with Celtic playing Hibs, and the atmosphere building up tremendously for the kick-off, which is just about 5 minutes away. And Ian St John is indeed in position now. He's organised, and Ian, I think you're facing your first semi-final at Scottish Cup for a very long time.
Well, actually, I remember playing in the semi-final, but that was a long, long time ago. It was against Clyde. Can you remember when Clyde had a very good team, the Tommy Ring playing, and Coyle and all those players. And I was playing for Motherwell, of course, and we lost that one. And I think Clyde won the cup, beat Celtic in the final. But of course, as you know, while I was still at Motherwell, we were playing in semi-final day when you don't get there. But it's lovely to be here. A great atmosphere outside, chatting to all the fans. All the youngsters were coming up, asking me where Jimmy Greaves was. they all thought he was somewhere hiding, But I'm looking forward to the game because you look at both sides. They both can play attacking football. They've got attractive forwards playing and skillful midfield players. So all in all, you would think it would be an attacking game with plenty of goals.
Well, you've got two forwards in the Hibs lineup that you know very well, of course, who both have FA Cup winners' medals. That's Steve Archibald, who won one with Tottenham in 1981, and Keith Houchin with Coventry, scoring that dramatic winner in 1987. What kind of impact do you think they may make in this afternoon's proceedings?
Well, Houchin, obviously, I know quite a bit about down in England. Good big player, good in the air, and in fact, the Hearts fans will tell you he's good in the air because he scored a cracking goal against them. And he's a mobile player as well, and I think he'll be an asset to the Hibs. I think he'll be a very good player. Steve Archibald, well, you don't play for Scotland and teams like Barcelona unless you can play.
Well, of course, Celtic have had their problems, both fullbacks out through illness and injury, a combination, and they've taken the bold step of bringing an 18-year-old into their lineup. Now, what kind of ordeal will this be for a young man like Steve Fulton?
Well, obviously he'll be looking for the more experienced players to guide him through the early stages of the game, but I mean, if you've got the talent to get in the team, you're good enough to play in this stage.
So there's the attractive sight of the teams taking the field, getting a warm welcome, of course, on this glorious afternoon. And let's give you a quick reminder of the lineups. There's the Celtic team. So no Morris and no Rogan, but Grant and Burns, very experienced professionals, filling the full-back positions. And up front, a lot of firepower with Joe Miller, Andy Walker, and the man in goal scoring form, Mark McGee, wearing number 10. Now there's young Steve Fulton. He was 18 years old last August, so what an amazing leap to start on this is. He's only started one Premier League match before. He's been substitute 3 times. He played in that match in Dubai against Liverpool when he showed his great composure. Young green-up man, and he's about to enjoy an occasion he'll never forget. So the Hibs line up also. They welcome back Gordon Hunter, having shrugged off that knee injury. Joe Tortolano is in at left back to use his pace and running power. Tommy McIntyre's good recent performances keep him in the side. And 3 men up front. Hibs have been criticised in the past for being a little bit negative, but no question of that this afternoon. Keith Houchin scored that winner for Coventry City against Tottenham 2 years ago. Goal a game man he is for Hibs. It's only his 3rd match in the Hibs lineup. So the referee this afternoon is Mr. George Smith from Edinburgh, 45-year-old civil servant, and he is now organising a minute's silence in respect for the tragic events which took place yesterday at Hillsborough at that FA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. So the referee waiting for the goalkeepers to take their positions. There's the minute's silence commenced. sad events at Hillsborough yesterday, and the team's now preparing for the Scottish Cup semi-final, and the fans at both ends now building up their support for the favourites. It'll be Celtic who will start the match, going from left to right and looking quickly out there at the team formations as Andy Walker and Mark McGee get him on the way. It looks as though Hibs are playing with Tommy McIntyre at right back, Gordon Hunter beside Gordon Ray, and central defence Joe Tortolano on the left, with the three men up that we mentioned, Houchin, Archibald and Evans. Here's Gareth Evans getting his first touch of the ball. Back it goes to Andy Gorham. Well, this will be an occasion for Gareth Evans also to remember, and Andy Gorham, very experienced now in terms of international football, and now savouring a Scottish Cup semi-final for the first time. Here's Tommy Barnes for Celtic. First touch for young Fulton, played forward by Aiken. Very important in these early stages, I fancy, Ian, for Celtic to settle with their new formation.
That's correct. But you know, there's so many experienced players in the Celtic lineup that really and truly it shouldn't be a problem. I haven't seen Tommy Burns play at left back, but I gather that he can fill a position very easily. But I've always said that I think if you're a good player, you can play net. You know, full back is not the hardest of positions to play.
So here's Joe Miller on the break on the right, stumbling at the wrong moment for Celtic. Here's Evans with his marker, Peter Grant. And a little bit of a nasty exchange there between the two players. Referee Smith, I think, may have a word with both. Indeed, he will take that action. A little bit of speech play followed the initial confrontation, and the referee making certain there's no misunderstandings in either camp about his treatment of the match. Gareth Evans appeared to be challenged fiercely from the back, but he did appear to react with a flying elbow, and the referee is making it very clear that he will stand for no continuation of any feud. Houchin and McCarthy get up together. It's Houchin who's penalised. Mick McCarthy allowed back into the Celtic side this afternoon after suspension by virtue of Fir Park becoming playable on Wednesday night for that rearranged league match, which ended 2 goals apiece, allowing him to complete his suspension. There's his free kick. Mark McGee's header. There's Tortolano, wasting no time about the clearance. Billy Stark will take the throw. No, he's left that to Grant. Here's Andy Walker. Now Miller. Stark to Grant. To Miller again. He's away from Tortolano. And good covering there by Hunter. Cut off that ball intended for Andy Walker. A good play here by Joe Miller, showing a lot of pace, then strength to resist that challenge, whipping the ball across, and a good clearance by Hunter. Corner kick being taken by Steve Fulton, headed on by McGee. There's Gorham. Stark brings it back in front of goal, and Paul Kane heads it away for a corner kick, and this really is a very fast start indeed by Celtic. That's Roy Aiken, who's all the way across to ensure the corner kick's taken quickly. McCarthy's in the box. There's McCarthy! 3 minutes gone. Celtic take the lead, and it's Mick McCarthy's first goal of the season. Forward with that particular throw inside their own box. But what a lift for Celtic right at the start of the match, and Hibs, of course, facing that major early setback. So a major test for Hibs now. Celtic so hard to handle when they get their tails up, and that surely is the boost that Billy McNeil would have been hoping for early in the match. Here's Steve Archibald. Played across by Tortolano, it's away by Aiken. There's Neil Orr. Now Houchin. McIntyre. Kane inside to Houchin. The challenge came from Grant. Good piece of defending there by Peter Grant. He was taken out of the play late by Paul Kane. It's a free kick given to Celtic. Right at the edge of the box, and Peter Grant shrugs off the knock. Well, Celtic certainly aren't messing about, Ian, are they?
Very hectic start to the match, and big Mick McCarthy there, the goal scorer. You never think you're going to get one, especially as early as that, if you're a defender, do you?
Well, certainly creates a lot of problems for Hibs, and the confidence will, I'm sure, run through the Celtic ranks if they can retain this lead for 10 minutes or so. Here's Mark McGee. He's away from McIntyre. They were teammates at Aberdeen at one time, and there's Gordon Ray's header, conceding yet another corner kick. Gordon Ray, the Hibs skipper, trying to lift his team. Here was McGee again on the left foot with a good cross, and Ray had no option but turn that behind for the corner. McCarthy this time marked by Gordon Ray, and the in-swing head goal is behind for the goalkeeper.
You know, over the years, Celtic have always been the best team in football for getting to the byline drop and getting crosses in, and again they've started the match in that vein. They've got down both flanks, get to the byline, get the crosses in, and it's always the best ball in the game, and they're experts at it, and putting the Hibs players under tremendous pressure early on.
McCarthy goes to win that from Houchin, touched away by McGee to Fulton. Good ball inside to Miller, and Gordon Ray again to Hibs rescue, turning it away for the throw. Well, Hibs under siege in these early stages. Here's Paul McStay. Back now with Barnes, trying to link up with Mark McGee. That's Hunter's clearance. Aiken returns it. McGee picks it up again. Well, a man who's very much in the mood, but running out of space. It's cleared by Tortolano. McCarthy now with lots of time. Keep the Grant available. And the flag is up against Andy Walker. Offside decision, giving the free kick to Hibs. McCarthy challenging again, but here's Steve Archibald. Now Evans. Easily held there by Pat Bonner. Evans favouring the left flank for the moment, with Archibald through the middle with Houchin. And the throw goes to Hibs. Peter Grant doesn't realise that yet. Archibald looking for Houchin in the middle. Watched very carefully by Bonner as it swirled in on top of him. Tortolano's header. Here's Evans. Turning away from Grant. They lose a runner, Evans. This is promising for Hibs. And it's turned behind by Roy Aiken. Bonner didn't reach it. This is great. Have the corner kick. And they have Houchin now, supported by Gordon Ray in the box. Archibald on the goal line. Punched away by Bonner. Collins in the race with McGee. That'll be a Celtic throw. So 10 minutes of the match gone. Celtic leading by 1-0. Mick McCarthy the scorer in 3 minutes. Collins and Hunter. That's one for Archibald to chase. He's in behind Aiken, but Bonner is there. And Archibald took a knock there from the Celtic keeper. Making light of it though. Stave plays it forward. There's McGee. Miller going up with Tortolano. It breaks kindly for Miller. There's Walker. Miller once again in the byline. The chance is on! Andy Walker. A glorious chance for Celtic's second. Well, lucky break here for Miller as Tortolano landed off with it, was out of the play. Miller working this great 1-2 with Andy Walker. Walker making his way back into the area for this cross. What a chance this was.
That was classic play, wasn't it? 1-2 onto the byline, cut it back. And really was a simple chance for Walker though. Just leaned back, got underneath it.
Tremendous header there by McCarthy. Very commanding leap over Houchin. There's McStay. Fulton. Matched there by Paul Kane.
I think Neil O's got an important job today because he's got to try and subdue Paul McStay, and that's going to be a difficult job for him.
Houchin inside to Archibald. They tried to thread that through for Evans. Cover was there for Celtic. Here's Joe Miller. Winning 11, playing it outside right for the moment. Good running by Stark. The early ball inside, and Walker couldn't make it. But Celtic really are in devastating form. It's been a quite incredible opening to this semi-final. Always a tense occasion, and Celtic, who have struggled in the last three matches, they drew against Motherwell, lost to Hamilton, lost to Rangers, and they've opened up with tremendous style this afternoon. There's Barnes, and now McStay. Off balance when he released the pass, allowing Evans to intercept. This is Collins, now Evans again. Archibald goes to the left, Houchin's on the right. Here's Paul Kane, tackled by McStay. Now Archibald free on the left. It's a great ball inside, and Evans couldn't control the header. A superb driven cross this.
So, you know, they played a bit of controlled football.
Very challenging well with McGee, and Neil was caught there. They tried to take the ball to safety, so it's a free kick to Hibs. And skipper Gordon Ray. Houchin's layoff. There's Paul Kane. Here's Archibald. The first time layoff for Evans. Collins takes over. Archibald again. Back it goes to Orr. There was a foul on Archibald. Free kick's been given. Archibald may have preferred the advantage rule to be applied, but this is promising for Hibs. Matt Bonner organising the Celtic goal. Paul Kane and John Collins are in charge of this set piece. Kane could bend this with his right foot, but Collins may take it to the left. There it is. There's Archibald! A fine snap header from Steve Archibald. That's done by McGee. There's Tortolano. Header by Grant. Collins to Ray. Inter and Tortolano going to the same ball. And up with one for Aiken. There's Houchin. And Aiken kept his head. Played back to Pat Bonner. But you have to give credit to Hibs. They've come back from that torrid opening from Celtic, and they're now creating some moves of their own. Tortolano wins it. There's Collins, well tackled by Stark. Miller wins it from Collins. Here's Paul McStay. Barnes comes up on the left. There's Fulton. Good running by McGee. Twisting and turning to get the cross in. And good handling by Coram inside the 6-yard box. The wrestling going on there between Archibald and McCarthy, and the free kick goes to Hibs. And Archibald suddenly making his presence felt in the match. He has really come into his own in the last 5 minutes or so, and clearly will be a major threat to Celtic. Scored twice against them in the league at Easter Road early in the season. Collins and Kane again over the ball. That corner crouched on the line, not entirely happy with the positioning of the wall. There's Kane to Archibald, he was looking for John Collins. Hibs really have put a lot of work into the set pieces. There's Andy Walker, impeded there by Hunter. Blatant body check by the young Hibs defender. Results in a free kick to Celtic and a long walk for Hunter to be lectured by referee Smith. I reckon the defender making some of that was worthwhile.
You're not condoning that, Jock, I hope.
Rather not, but I think that Gordon Hunter might think that he got good value for that, and had the referee booked him, he may have regretted it.
I would think so.
There's McCarthy's free kick. Up goes Billy Stark, it goes through to Miller. A high awkward ball from Stark. McGee judges it well. Tangling again, it's Tommy Burns who pumps the ball forward and catches Andy Walker offside. So Celtic operating with Walker through the middle, McGee favouring the left side of the attack with Miller on the right touchline, and that so far has served them well. There's Gordon Ray's free kick. Archibald the target once again, a fine header. Here's Houchin. Archibald's available. The great ball in from Archibald. Well, we're really seeing the full range of the Archibald talents now. Taking the return ball here from Keith Houchin. Just look at the power in this shot, swerving towards the far post.
Yes, he's beginning to have an impact in the game, Stevie Archibald. He's getting involved in most of the Hibernian attacks, looking good.
Well timed by Stark. Off Delano's clearance. McCarthy standing his ground with Houchin. Here's Paul McStay. Collins picks it up, but the free kick's given for the challenge by Orr. Well, Neil Orr's task for the afternoon is to curb the immense creative talents of Paul McStay. McCarthy with the free kick. Touched on by McGee. Ray got there ahead of Walker. Then it's a Celtic throw. Stark back to Miller. Tortolano showing him inside. Doesn't want to hit that byline. The fullback succeeds. There's Collins. Houchin bundled from the rear by Mick McCarthy. That's a free kick to Hibs.
That's going to be a tussle that we'll see right to the final whistle, I'm sure. The two big fellas battling it out there.
So Joe Tortolano will take this free kick for Hibs. Looking for Houchin. McCarthy wins that cleanly. Back with Ray. Evans was offside. Linesman's flag up as soon as Ray's long ball was released. So it's Tommy Burns now for Celtic. Walker coming off his marker, great running by Fulton. He's lost Paul Kane. There's McGee and Miller. Mark McGee for Celtic. Hibs are ripped apart again. The crucial when he looks at the ball, and he's picked up his 18th goal of the season 20 minutes into this semi-final. There's Miller again, and Ray cuts it off. Well, Hibs will be particularly upset about that second goal, bearing in mind their improvement in form as the impact of the opening goal is wearing off. There's Steve Fulton going back into position, just 18 years old.
You're right enough, Jock, that the Hibs had just come back into the game. They were beginning to put Celtic under a little bit, but all of a sudden, you know, they found themselves 2 down.
There's John Collins winning it from Miller. Here's strong, talented young man. Here's Archibald. Or finds Gareth Evans. Cross, looking for Houchen. That's picked out cleanly by Pat Bonner. Fine piece of goalkeeping. Well, against the Leicester goalkeeper, this wouldn't have been a bad ball from Gareth Evans. Looking for Houchen. Well taken. Hunter's header. Up goes Stark. Hunter again. And put up against Mark McGee on Gordon Hunter. The free kick goes to Hibs. Tortolano plays it forward, McCarthy on his own, and Archibald was caught offside. The free kick to Celtic. And Hibs again have to settle down because 2 is not impossible to retrieve, but 3 surely would signal the end of their cup effort. So there is a tactical dilemma out there for the Hibs players. Tortolano's header, there's Gareth Evans. Brought down, they tried to go between the 2 players. Miller and Grant, and Mick McCarthy thumps the ball against the head of Evans, accidentally it must be said, but it isn't much consolation for the moment for young Gareth Evans. McCarthy, who's clearly struck the young Hibs player. There he goes, trying to take on the 2 players. So it's brought down, it's thumped straight back at him by McCarthy. The young Hibs number 11 recovers quickly, and the free kick will be taken this time, I think, by Tortolano. Lost Houchen, Aiken wins it. There's Collins, beaten to the ball by Fulton. McIntyre turning it back towards Hunter. McCarthy again winning the high ball. Fulton took a knock there from Neil Orr. Free kick's been given. Orr is the man whose main task is to protect the Hibs back 4. And that means operate in the middle against Paul McStay. There's Aiken. No hope there for Mark McGee. Well, for Hibs now, Ian, is it a case of settling for a little bit of composure at the back, or should they be all out in attack?
Well, it's an uphill task for them, but I feel they've had their best play when they brought their midfield players into the game and played a little bit of football. When they don't and they hump it from the back, as we've seen, you know, they just Celtic are holding the line and they're getting caught offside.
Here's Andy Walker now for Celtic. Miller available inside, and Collins wins it back neatly for Hibs. This is Evans. Tortolano locks it through the middle. And that's the kind of high ball which Ian St John was talking about. Archibald penalised for a bit of jostling there with Mick McCarthy.
So McCarthy's getting most of the high balls, Jock. So, you know, the Hibs are not really getting much joy out of that one. And I feel that they should be playing through the middle, you know, through Kane and Collins, because I think they're talented players. And, you know, if they must get a hold of the ball for a spell and get back into the game.
So McCarthy with the free kick, looking for McGee. Hunter wins it well. Mitchell Miller. McGee back to Stark. Inside it goes to Paul McStay. Hibs a bit of a very interesting alteration. Paul Kane's in the middle of midfield with Neil Orr on the right side. And the shot from Paul McStay goes wide. That is a very interesting change though, Ian, with Neil Orr now marking Steve Fulton.
Yes, maybe Neil Orr thought it was going to be a bad day for him playing in the middle against McStay. I don't know why they've done that. obviously something within the team structure themselves that might fancy all out there.
McCarthy doing very well once again in the air. Misunderstanding there between Walker and McStay. Here's Orr, his new role on the right side of midfield, looking for Archibald, who tried to anticipate the headed clearance from Roy Aitken. And the decision goes Celtic's way. Steve Archibald clearly displeased about that. Thumps the ball into the ground with a show of dissent, which incurs the wrath of referee George Smith. Warning is sufficient, and it's back with Bonner. Awkward bouncing ball, Tommy McIntyre underneath it. Played away by Ray, a lot of space there for Steve Fulton, but he's content to accept the throw. Fulton getting away from Kane, great play from the youngster. Here's Andy Walker! 27 minutes gone, Tommy Craig comes out to celebrate, and it's shaping to be a rout. Walker gets his 15th goal of the season. Yet another return on that £375,000 fee paid to Motherwell, and there's young Steve Fulton. Well, what an afternoon it is for him. Created of 2 excellent goals so far for Celtic, and we're not yet at the half-hour mark. 3-0 to Celtic. And here's Paul Kane. Well, Hibs have been on the end of a couple of thrashings from Celtic at Hampden in the early 70s. The cup final of 72 finished 6-1, then a League Cup final was 6-3. And Celtic looking very much in the mood to go on from here. Hunter's high ball. Grant and Evans together as they have been for much of the match. It's a Celtic throw. Good play from Collins. There's Kane. Let's aim for McIntyre on the far side. Young Steve Fulton gets there first to concede the throw. There's Gordon Ray with a pass back. Well, Hibs really must be feeling shell-shocked at the moment, coming into this match with lots of hope, indeed perhaps even some expectation, and suddenly it's all turned sour for them. Half an hour of the semi-final gone, they're trailing by 3-0, but they do have a free kick now just outside the box. Foul committed by McCarthy, going for the high ball with Houchen. Hibs really do need a boost very quickly now if they're to think in terms of a fight back. Pat Bonner still adjusting the wall. It's Paul Kane and John Collins again over the ball. There's Kane. And it's held at the second attempt by Bonner. Good goalkeeping once more. This is well taken by Paul Kane. Past the wall, putting Bonner at full stretch there, and he gathered the ball in before Archibald could get there.
Paul Kane takes a good free kick. I saw a game against Aberdeen where he cracked one in. So he bent that one round. They need a little break, Hibs. You feel at this stage you need to give a little turn, a little rub of the green, to try and get back into the game.
Tortolano under pressure immediately from these hungry Celtic players now. There's Mark McGee, still looking for more action in front of Andy Gorham. Paul McStay with the throw. There's McGee. Robbed by Collins. Gets it back from Orr. Houchen trying to find Evans. Well, Keith Houchen hasn't yet turned out for Hibs without scoring. He's Played 2, scored 2, and this is his third outing.
If he's going to score, they'll have to try and get the ball out wide and then in, because at the moment all they're doing is looking for him with long balls up the middle.
Nice and determined. Challenging there by Mick McCarthy pays off as he wins the ball from Houchen. Celtic have possession again with Barnes. Here's Paul McStay. Walker linking with Fulton. Oh, that's great play again from Celtic. Chance to go on the flanks. And that cross is too high for a diminutive figure like Joe Miller's. So the throw goes to Hibs and Joe Tortolano. Push in the back by Grant on Houchen, right in front of the referee's eyes. Archibald signals for the ball. Tortolano trying to oblige. It's helped on by Kane. There's Houchen. Running into Aiken. McStay to start. Aiken continues the run. Met there by Ray. Two skippers together, and here's space again for Fulton. Such a composed young man. And about his first error of the match, but a lucky break for Celtic as the ball breaks for Barnes. Orris got to get back towards Gorham. McIntyre. Archibald seemed to get a call there from Houchen to leave it. There's Kane. And despite the pressure applied by Gareth Evans, well taken by Bonner, and Roy Aitken going to remonstrate with Evans is pushed aside by Archibald. Well, it did appear as though the ball was there to be challenged for. The referee appears to have given a free kick to Celtic, but the goalkeeper being well protected here, Ian.
Well, it's a hobby horse of mine about goalkeepers, you know. I always feel that they come out and they come for the ball and they knock players down to get there, and nobody says a word. And yet, if somebody bumps them, they start complaining. But I think the problem there was that Big Roy was wanting to referee the game, and the referee decided it was his turn.
So here's an early change about to be made by Hibs. It's very interesting indeed. They're going to take off Tommy McIntyre, who's been playing at right back, who clearly is something of the scapegoat perhaps in the Hibs camp, because Steve Fulton has performed so well. And before any change is made, here's Walker with Fulton. He's brought down there by Hunter, and that is it a penalty kick? No, the referee appeared to point towards the spot, but no penalty kick. It's still Celtic in possession. Graham Mitchell is the player waiting to come on for Hibs. And the ball is out of play, so the substitution can be made. Well, a clear indication that the Hibs manager Alec Miller is not entirely happy with the performance of Tommy McIntyre, who's been playing at right back. He hasn't been able to cope with the menace provided by Steve Fulton.
Actually, you have to feel sorry for McIntyre. You know, he was getting torn apart down that right-hand side of the field there as the Celtic was surging down, getting to the byline on that side.
So the alteration been made with Gordon Hunter appearing to move to right back to justify the number 2 in his back, with Graham Mitchell slotting in beside Gordon Ray in defence. Well, it's a question of perhaps closing the stable door without being unkind to McIntyre. He did appear to be pretty well exposed there. He had a lot of cover protecting him on the far side as Fulton came forward. And there's Neil Orr. Hunter in his new role. There's Paul Kane. Trying to find space to send over a cross. He did very well indeed and forced McCarthy into that clearance at full stretch. It's a corner kick to Hibs. Gordon Ray still looking for a goal, which would perhaps change the Hibs' fortunes. Played away easily by Stark. I'm sure what Collins intended. Crunching tackle that was from Paul McStay. Archibald making room for himself. Ray switching play to the left to Tortolano. Evans has to return it quickly. Good ball inside. Here's Orr. Immediately challenged by McStay. Hunter has the chance to use his pace on the right. Oh, he's caught very late by Barnes, who acknowledges the foul instantly. Well, Gordon Hunter is a very, very quick player indeed. And it was perhaps that pace which deceived Tommy Barnes. Look at this again as Hunter accelerated to the ball. Barnes was out of reach, caught the young Hibs defender, and he will now be the first player in the match to be shown the yellow card. And Gordon Hunter, of course, the player who only just made this semi-final. He's been fighting injury for much of the season. Barnes apologises to him. And Gordon Hunter really is a man who has been in the wars this season. And Hibs, having just made a substitution, we're very anxious to see him back on his feet. Other flats overlooking Hampden Park.
Oh, they're giving you a wave, Jock.
So the match will restart with this free kick. Gordon Hunter is back on his feet. Well, let's hope he recovers quickly. And Neil Orr will have to take that again, and Gordon Ray will be upset about that. He appeared to have made an excellent run to meet that cross. Mick McCarthy will no doubt argue that he would have had it covered had it been for real. Not entirely happy with the positioning, but Neil Orr reacting now to the linesman's orders. Oh, are you happy about that, says Neil Orr. Free kick is deflected, an awkward one. It comes out towards Collins. Here's Evans making for the byline. Appeared to be impeded there by Aiken. The referee saw nothing wrong with that. Gareth Evans did, protested too strongly, and he will be in trouble. Well, real folly for Evans.
Well, he's a silly boy because it wasn't a foul. He'd knocked the ball, but he could never get there, and he tried to play himself, you know, against Roy Aitken there, and it just the referee noticed that and says, "Carry on." It was a dead ball.
And after that early warning, following the little tussle with Peter Grant, Gareth Evans really could have expected little else. Outburst. Touched on by Stark. There's Tortolano's header. Paul McStay. And Collins in quickly on McGee.
The Hibs have readjusted. Orr has come back into midfield, and the reason I think Jock that played him wide was to try and protect McIntyre out on that side during that spell, but he's back in central midfield again.
The ball goes for a throw to Hibs. A foul there on Mick McCarthy. Archibald complains, to no avail. Free kick to Celtic. So inside the closing 5 minutes of what has been a tremendous first half for Celtic. 3-0 they lead. McCarthy's free kick finds Joe Miller. Well, that was an ambitious ball which you have to think he might not have tried but for that 3-goal cushion. McCarthy's header. Paul Kane eases himself into space. He's hustled all the way by McGee. Mitchell turns it back. Up goes McCarthy, but he's doing a bit of pushing there this time on Houchin. Well, he's very aggressive in the air, Mick McCarthy, and it usually serves him well, but occasionally gets him into trouble with the referee. So could John Collins or Paul Kane provide a lifeline here for Hibs from the set piece? Kane makes the first run and the shot, and Roy Aitken did brilliantly there, easing that away from Steve Archibald, who was hovering there. Corner kick from Collins. It's won well in the air by McCarthy again. There's Neil Orr fighting hard for Hibs. Gives it back to Mitchell. And it'll be Andy Gorham who sorts this out as Paul McStay blocks that clearance from Mitchell. And the offside flag catches out John Collins. Roy Aitken has taken a seat for a moment. Well, he really must be in trouble because he doesn't like to show pain. He's on the ground, so he may have taken a knock as he made that clearance a moment ago. So the Celtic skipper is back on his feet very quickly. No work this time for Brian Scott, the Celtic physio. Well, a little while, Ian, since you've seen Celtic in the flesh. What's your impression of this first half?
Very impressed with them. I said before I was looking for an attacking game, and I was certainly getting that from them. Entertaining football. It really is, you know, a delight for the big crowd here at Hampden.
Oh, good play from Collins, sidestepping Paul McStay. One touch to Orr. The ball is aimed for Steve Archibald. He did well to reach it. There's Kane again. Well, very keen to show his shooting power once more, but well off target that time. And what hopes for Hibs?
Well, at this stage you have to say that they badly need a goal, Jock, otherwise it's all over for them. I do feel that, as I said, if they can play a bit of football, they must try to get hold of the ball and control the game for some stage, because when they just pump it forward there, the Celtic defenders are winning, the two central defenders are winning most of the high stuff today, and they've got to look for other ways around it, and I think the way to do it is to knock it into the midfield players and play from there.
The Celtic in the break again. McGee sprinting forward. He has Walker in support in the middle. Patient build up this from Celtic. Here's Fulton. Walker's in there with Ray. There's Joe Miller. Deflected by Ray over the top. It's a corner kick to Celtic, with Hibs living dangerously once again. Superb build up once more. Walker finding Fulton. What a great left foot ball that is. Breaks back to Joe Miller. Ray on the deck did enough to deflect the ball over. Oh, beleaguered Hibs skipper, he's worked very hard indeed against the tide in this first half. Gordon Ray. So we're into stoppage time in the first half. Up goes Billy Stark. This is Evans. Archibald wins it from McCarthy. Releases Evans. Paul McStay getting back. And a slip at the wrong moment. Means it's a throw to Hibs. Mitchell. Inside it goes to Gordon Ray. And there goes the half-time whistle. Celtic go off with a 3-goal lead provided by Mick McCarthy, then Mark McGee, and the third came from Andy Walker, all within the first half hour. So a very happy scoreline for Celtic, problems for Hibs. Join our studio panel with Arthur Montford right after the break. Well, Archibald certainly showed signs in the first half that he could trouble the Celtic defence. There's Roy Aitken turning it back to Pat Bonner. Well, no doubt would have been heavy discussions in that Hibs dressing room, I've no doubt. And I wonder if that can make any impact at all on the proceedings for this second period. There's Walker backing into Ray. Kane lofts it back to Andy Gorham. And Hibs have opened up with the midfield three the way it started. That's Kane on the right, Orr on the centre, and Collins on the left. And Keith Houchin has got a free kick. He's protesting vehemently towards referee Smith, but the free kick has already been given. There's Mick McCarthy, who is now being spoken to by referee Smith, and that will be for persistent infringement. No changes in either lineup except the one made in the first half by Hibs, replacing Tommy McIntyre with Graham Mitchell. Celtic have in reserve John Traynor and Owen Archdeacon. And Hibs still have to call upon Eddie May should they think fit before the end. So a goal kick to Celtic. He's header, there's Andy Walker. So Steve Fulton has done some damage to that left wrist. Some repairs carried out at half-time. Not at all clear when that happened. Houchin stumbling. There's Barnes with Fulton. Over the head of Gordon Ray, but he knew that Mitchell was behind him. Fine sweeper, Graham Mitchell. Collins going away from start, but running into McNeil. He was fouled. That's a free kick to Hibs, which Collins would like to take quickly, but Celtic making sure that can't happen easily. Here's Tortolano. And Evans. Stopped there by Miller. Inside is Stark. McNeil met by Orr. Here's Paul Kane. Evans with Collins on the outside. Bill Collins with Neil Orr popping up on the right. Making for the byline, a fine cross by Orr. And cleared well by Joe Miller, who is back marking Gareth Evans. There's Tortolano, Evans with a header. Archibald trying to control it. Well, Hibs putting some pressure on the Celtic defence. A long ball which McGee gets his head to, but he couldn't direct it accurately. Fulton playing it forward for McGee. This is Barnes. Clearance by Mitchell. Good one-touch football there from Celtic, but Neil Orr wins it back for Hibs. This is Evans trying to outpace Grant. Appears to get a handoff there by Peter Grant, who looks thoroughly aggrieved about the referee's decision to give the free kick.
Evans certainly has the pace to take Grant on, you know, if he gets a chance to have a run at him. I thought Grant got his elbow in his face as he went. I see him getting his elbow up there.
Tortolano's free kick. Came off the head of Barnes. Maybe a throw to Hibs. Celtic being pinned back at the start of the second half. Houchin trying to find room for a cross. Getting help now from Collins. Fulton turns it away. That's a throw right at the corner flag. Archibald shows himself. There's Collins with a cross. Warner's well out of his goal. Chance for Evans. Now Archibald! Hibs pull one back. It's Steve Archibald who does it. We're 6 minutes into the season. He's now taken a hefty knock on that right leg, but he has pulled Hibs back with something of a hope of saving the match. The deficit cut to 2.
Well, they've got the goal at a good time in the second half, you know, nice and early, so it's given them plenty of time, and you know, Celtic are under siege at the moment.
So Neil Orr with a free kick. And the fact that it would have been the fire if Hibs could get another, and they weren't far away with that header from Paul Kane. Oh, we now hear the Hibs fans, for the first time in the match, the high B chant begins. Andy Walker. Now a tactical problem perhaps for Celtic, Ian. Do they settle down with this 2-goal lead, or do they go and look for another?
Well, Celtic being Celtic, I should think will carry on and attack when they've got the ball, but as I said before, the Hibs have come out in this half and they've been far more aggressive in their play.
Miller now trying to get away from Evans, but two very quick players together. Evans wins it. Collins hustled out of that by McStay. Here's Peter Grant. Now Stark. McGee. Tortolano's tackle. The tackling's getting tougher and tougher as the game goes on. Especially with Hibs now sensing the prospect of a dramatic recovery. There's Paul McStay. That's a great pass inside the fullback for Miller, and he couldn't quite reach it in time. A goal kick to Hibs. You've had the misfortune to miss what's gone before, and you've just joined us. The scoreline is Celtic 3, Hibs 1. 3-0 at half-time to Celtic. Hibs hitting back with a Steve Archibald goal early in the second half. And the match very much alive. Here's Paul McStay. Fulton inside. Here's McStay. Burns back to Aiken. Celtic really trying to settle again. They've had their feathers ruffled rather by Hibs at the start of the second half. Gordon Hunter can't use Gorham without running the risk of Mark McGee intercepting. There's a challenge by Andy Walker, which results in a free kick to Hibs. Great control from Miller. Stepping away from Collins, using McStay in the middle. Burns was caught in two minds, I think, about that pass at the start. Hunter turned it away. Throw to Celtic. Fulton tackled firmly by Paul Kane. There's a throw to Celtic. There's Walker. It's missed by Mitchell. McGee couldn't control it. And the shot on the turn. There's McStay racing to retrieve possession. Tangling with Tortolano, who concedes the corner kick. Referee Smith. Fulton takes a short one to Grant, pulls the ball back. Fine cross, but Gorham judged it well. And that's one for Archibald to chase. He's on his own for the moment up front for Hibs. Needs support. Holding play up, waiting for his colleagues to join him. One of them is Tortolano. And he's held there by McStay. There'll be trouble here for Paul McStay. That was a deliberate foul, and that really is out of character for Paul McStay. He realised he was beaten there by Tortolano and just held him up quite deliberately, so there'll be a yellow card for the Celtic and Scotland midfield man. And a free kick to Hibs. In number 7, way 5, as Tortolano plays it in. There's one well by McCarthy. This is Paul Kane. Now Evans breaks back for Houchin, and Bonner is in the way. Celtic have survived, but you couldn't come any closer to a goal. Well, Keith Houchin must be very upset indeed about that. He hasn't yet matched his goal game record, and that would have been goal which would have had an incredible impact on this semi-final. Hibs looking completely out of it at half-time, and suddenly now just one goal away from setting up an incredible climax to the match. So the throw this time goes to Hibs on the far side. throw this time to Celtic. Collins going back. Start going inside. Here's Kane. Hunter coming up from right back. Trying to play that beyond Barnes for the running figure of Houchin. McStay turning it away from Kane. Kane gets a word from the referee for being a little bit reckless going in behind Paul McStay. That noise you hear coming from Hibs supporters. What appeared to be a lost cause no longer appears so. So a Celtic player on the ground as this move develops. Here's Peter Grant playing it inside. And now there will be a hold-up. The player on the ground, I think, is Andy Walker. He took no part in that particular move. The referee content that he's all right and fit to continue. Hibs free kick. There's Evans. Collins tries to take over and losing the ball to Miller. There's Miller again coming inside. Fine play, finding Stark on the right. That's into the path of Miller again. Well, down to Joe Miller and Billy Stark between them. His header was Tortolano. Neil Orr through the middle, Aiken with Archibald. Well, Aiken did very well indeed. Steve Archibald, one of the best players in the country perhaps, at chasing balls like that. He's been through it to good effect for many a season now for Clyde, Aberdeen, Tottenham and Barcelona. It's on the way for a Celtic throw. Past the hour mark now, still 3-1 to Celtic. There's Andy Walker, and now Barnes. McStay picks it up with a shooting chance. It's blocked by Mitchell. McCarthy to Barnes. Tackle came from Orr and raised clearance. Brought down well by McCarthy. Hunter turns it back to Gorham. Well, that's good play from Archibald, controlling it well under pressure. Evans taking up good position on the left. Trying to go past Peter Grant. No power in the cross though, and it's Joe Miller. Tortolano. Now McStay. That's good play by McStay. Joe Miller has possession. Walker and McGee up with him, so is Fulton, but the Hibs defence judging that well, stepping forward at the right time and catching Walker and McGee offside. Well, certainly nothing like as impressive a second half from Celtic here.
No, Celtic have looked a bit ragged. Although I must say in the last 5 minutes or so, they're sort of feeling their way back into the game. But all credit to Hibs, you know, if they can keep this pressure up on them, you know, I can see them scoring another goal.
This is Gordon Hunter. Brought down by Fulton. Free kick catching John Collins off balance. Hunter and Fulton together again. That's another foul by the Celtic player. Hibs free kick.
Paul Kane over the free kick. There's Hunter. Switching play to the far side through Orr to Tortolano. It's one for Houchen to chase, but his marker is there, Mick McCarthy. He's very anxious to get the ball in the Celtic box to use the striking skills of Archibald and Houchen. Supported well from midfield by Kane and Collins. McCarthy won it, but it's back with Tortolano. McCarthy again, but his clearance results in a corner kick to Hibs. So the pressure remains on the Celtic defence. McCarthy looking not entirely happy with his colleague's commitment at this stage. Missed by Stark, but not by Aiken. There's Fulton's pass releasing Miller on the right. Break on for Celtic. Walker screaming for the ball in the middle. Still Miller in possession. Hibs getting men back now. Paul McNeil takes over. He's challenged instantly by Kane. The tackle was much too high. And the free kick goes to Celtic. Paul Kane certainly got back very quickly to help his defence, and had Miller chosen to release that ball earlier towards Walker in the middle, Hibs would really have been in trouble. So Paul McNeil getting some urgent treatment.
Going back to the corner kick there that started the attack for Celtic. Tortolano had gone down and stood by Evans at the corner flag, and Evans doesn't use him and gave a bad corner kick as it happened in. And then Tortolano's caught at the corner flag. I can never understand that. There's no point going down there and standing in that position unless you're going to get the ball. Otherwise, you're caught out of position, which is what happened.
And the result of the break which came from that corner kick, Celtic have this opportunity to test Andy Gorham. Free kick will be taken by Billy Stark. Well, it was intended for McGee, who had crept into an offside position.
Mark McGee's been quiet this half, hasn't he? He had such an impact in that first 45 minutes, and he's been subdued in the 20 minutes of the second.
There's Keith Houchen. Weakly by Buns. Back with Ray. Seeking out Gareth Evans on the left. Archibald may well be offside, yes. The Celtic defence were looking for that. So no look for Archibald. Black armband, just to remind you, affecting the events at Hillsborough yesterday. Mitchell's header. Kane tripped by Fulton. Quick free kick. Hibs on the move again with Gordon Hunter. McGee tackling back. Doing a good job defensively. A little bit of nastiness creeping in there, and the referee, I think, will speak to both players. Frustration there for Hunter, and Mark McGee doesn't want to wait around to be spoken to by the referee. He's going to have to, though. Celtic manager Billy McNeil is out of the dugout.
It's a sign of Hibs' dominance that the Celtic forwards are now having a chase back job.
Calming influence of referee George Smith before this free kick can be taken by Neil Orr. That's towards Archibald. Tackled well by Bonds. Disappointment for Tommy Bonds, who was looking for the throw. Crucial phase in the match. Hibs pressing for a second goal, which would set them up for a big finish. Houchen to Archibald. Well, Archibald had turned and walked away from that as soon as he released it. That's the apology to his teammates inside. Aiken is doing some urging of his players. Not happy with the second half performance. Making sure there's no lapse in concentration now, letting Hibs right back in the match. Here's Aiken. Well, not too pleased with his own clearance. There's Gordon Hunter. Archibald helping it on towards Houchin. Walker doing well to ease the ball to Stark. This is Miller. Tortolano brings down the Celtic winger. That was a bad challenge by the young fullback. Didn't do too much damage, happily. Free kick's been given. And referee George Smith content to give the free kick. No further action. Corner kick's been given. It was turned behind by Joe Tortolano. So Celtic now have the chance to look for the goal, which would surely kill off this cup tie. Up goes Roy Aiken. McCarthy also making his way forward. Fulton's corner. This is Aiken. Delicate ball inside. Gorham wins it well. With a long, hopeful ball upfield. No problems there for Peter Grant. Good play from Celtic. They appear to have settled again. The race is on, but Tortolano has lots of pace. Great control from Archibald. Stepping away from Stark. Here's Gareth Evans. Checking inside. Here's Paul Kane. And Roy Aiken spotted the danger. He knew all about Kane's shooting power. And a very good tackle there from Gordon Ray. Confident play by the Hibs captain once again. This is Houchin and now Kane. No progress made though by Hibs. They'll have possession though. Grant nodding it back. Tortolano's header. Grant getting there ahead of Evans. They've had a fair old tussle, these two, Peter Grant and Gareth Evans, and Evans has certainly proved to be a hot handful.
Yes, it's been an interesting little tussle, as you say, and I mean, I think if Evans can get a run at him, at Grant, you know, he can have the better of him.
Houchin looking up, finding Kane in midfield. Here's Orr. Stay doing the hustling. Here's Graham Mitchell holding off Andy Walker. Kane to Collins. That's towards Houchin. It's Collins again. It has Hunter on the right. Here's Collins again. And Norm is so adept with that left foot around the box. But it's Billy Stark who tidies up for Celtic.
You see, when Hibs have got the ball and try to play a bit of football, they have a little bit of success, Jock, you know, and I think they've got to persevere with that.
So the header followed by Graham Mitchell, and Andy Walker has been penalised for forming a back for Mitchell. Free kick to Hibs.
Fortuitous blowing a whistle by the referee because Evans was off.
There's Graham Mitchell's free kick. Fulton dropping back to defensive position for the moment. Setting it up for Burns, but Hunter is there at the same time. goes Hibs' way. McCarthy pumps it forward. Gordon Ray is there with Mark McGee. He's very good in this position. That's a fine tackle by Ray. Corner kick to Celtic. Still leading by 3-1. The second half wears on now, and time running out for Hibs. Just 15 minutes left for play. Joe Miller with the corner. Turned behind by Houchin. That makes it another corner to Celtic. And they'll be very happy to keep the ball around the Hibs penalty box for as long as possible. Wilton's corner. Up goes Aiken. Naylor drags the ball clear. Archibald. Breaks inside for Kane. That was for Houchin. A misunderstanding there between Kane and Houchin. McCarthy was under no misapprehension though. He went to win the ball. The Hibs have it back. Collins now to Mitchell. There's Kane. Tackled strongly there by Paul McStay. And Tortolano playing the pass back for Gorham. Time running out for Hibs, Ian?
I'm afraid so, but I mean, we've all seen cup ties that boil up in the last 5 minutes, never mind with about, 13 or 14 minutes to go. Anything can happen yet, but you've got to think the Celtic have now seen the worst of it, because they were put through the mill in the early stages of the second half, but appear to have weathered the storm now.
A lot of credit due to Hibs for that. 3 down at half-time. They could have an excuse for thinking it was too big a task, but they certainly have given it their best shot. I'm sure they'll still get something more to offer, but so is Joe Miller. And great handling once again from Andy Gorham. It really is a feature of his play how well he takes these awkward balls on the deck. He was Joe Miller, trying to be shown inside there by Tortolano. He still managed to make his way past him and outside again, and that's really good goalkeeping. Tortolano's header, a lay off from Houchin. Didn't control it the first time, gets it back for Tortolano. Pat Bonner in no particular hurry now, with Celtic having that 2-goal cushion provided by virtue of their blistering opening half hour when they scored 3 times through Mick McCarthy, Mark McGee and Andy Walker. Hibs heading back well in the second half. 1 goal to show only though for their efforts from Steve Archibald. And they now have to conjure up 2 within the next 12 to 13 minutes if they're to stay in the Scottish Cup. Houchin's lay off from the chest to Collins. Collins again to Kane. Here's Hunter. Houchin now taking the ball on the run, and Aiken did just enough to win it back. Well, Archibald will be a run inside, but these two of course have had only 1 game before today to develop any kind of understanding. It's the turn of the Celtic fans to sing, sensing the winning post now. They were quiet for a long spell at the start of the second half when Hibs were hitting back with all they had, but now these Celtic supporters clearly believe their team is in the Scottish Cup final. McStay to stop. working with Walker. Now he wants to link with Burns. McGee on the turn, great play and a fine tackle again from Gordon Ray. Is it a fine match for Hibs? Trying to hold together that beleaguered defence in the first half. All battling manfully to keep Hibs alive. Burns to Aiken. Joe Miller now on the left. There's 10 minutes left. Here's Paul McStay. Possession all important to Celtic now. Here's Peter Grant. McStay wants it again. Here's Paul Kane pulling it forward. Archibald trying to trouble both Aiken and McCarthy. He wins the throw for Hibs. Towards Archibald, holding off his marker. Into the path of Kane it goes. There's Houchin. Well, the first touch wasn't quite good enough. Celtic going to move again with Fulton on the left. Caused so much trouble in the first half hour. That's intended for Joe Miller over on the far side. Tortolano gets there first, but he has to concede the corner. No particular hurry with 9 minutes remaining. Aiken strolling forward to the box. McCarthy staying back this time. There's corner. Gordon Ray wins it from Aiken, the two captains together. Fulton's throw. Aiken wants to be involved once more. Back Keeler finds Aiken. That's a great effort from Aiken. Well, the intention was clear.
A little bit on it, Roy.
So Aiken up on the score sheet. Only managed that once this season so far. That least penalty kick. And it's Hibs who now have not only Celtic but the clock for an enemy. Time rapidly running out, 3-1 to Celtic. Collins putting pressure on McStay. Well, McStay looks very fit and lively indeed, getting more applause from the Celtic fans, ruling things now in midfield. There's Mitchell to Orr. Archibald's layoff. Keith Houchin showing that to Fulton. Orr picks it up again. Appeared to be wrestled there rather by Andy Walker. Free kick to Hibs. Neil Orr, I think, will be in a spot of trouble there for something he said to the referee. Can't think why, because the free kick had been given. Formerly with Morton and West Ham United. £100,000 well spent by Hibs. There's Collins with a free kick. Up goes Gordon Ray. He did well to reach that. But no serious trouble for Pat Bonner.
Well, the big skipper coming in there, getting a good header in, but again straight at Bonner. But as I say, anything can happen in the closing minutes. You know, if the Hibs could get one, it would set up a grandstand finish.
There's Joe Miller. A good play from Grant. Very tight out there though, the touchline. Now a throw to Hibs. And for Evans to chase. Grant giving chase. There's Archibald. Now Orr. Hunter coming forward. That was well read by young Fulton. He's found Mark McGee. And a very important challenge once again coming from Gordon Ray. Fulton. And the body check by Gordon Hunter. Obstruction, giving the free kick to Celtic. Tommy Burns trying to make progress on the left. Now Mark McGee looking up. It's blocked by Ray. Here's Barnes to Fulton. Back it goes to Aiken. Headed by Graham Mitchell. Tough collision there between Kane and Fulton. Young Celtic player took a knock. There's Mitchell now trying to urge on his attack. Gareth Evans has space on the left. The chance to run at Peter Grant. Beautifully timed tackle. Well, that's the kind of opportunity that Gareth Evans has been looking for.
Correct, he just needed to knock it, just a little bit further, and it was clear.
There's Gareth Evans. Back with Evans again, and John Collins losing it to Miller, and it's gone out, and that'll be a throw, I think, to Celtic. So signs of fatigue creeping in now, and not surprisingly after the effort put into this match by both sides. 4 minutes left.
It's been a hectic game, Jock, and I think that Houchin playing for Hibs today must be wondering what he's come up to here in Scotland, because the game seems to be 100 miles an hour for him. He's not really getting into the game at all.
And frustration showing in his face there as he concedes that free kick.
Yeah. Although I must say I've been impressed with Stevie Archibald's contribution today. I thought he's played very, very well. His control has been good. He's linked the game up, and as you were saying before, maybe Houchin and Archibald could be a partnership if they play, a little bit more together.
Sadly for Hibs, Steve Archibald seemed determined to leave at the end of the season, just as Houchin arrives. Celtic coming forward again. Looks to be a task which is beyond Hibs now, with just 3 minutes remaining. 3-1 to Celtic. And the fruits of that opening half hour look as though they will be enough to see Celtic through to the cup final on the 20th of May. Here's next day to Barnes. There's Tommy Barnes. Going all the way himself, and eventually it's won there by John Collins at the edge of the box. There's Houchin helping it on to Evans. Now John Collins. Archibald peeling to the right. This is Neil Orr. Now Tortolano. Corner is committed, and no mistake. Corner clearly would be a little bit concerned about his contribution when hit. Chase on now for McGee, and Mitchell got there first. McCarthy doing well. There's Collins. Now Hunter. Archibald appeared to jump at Roy Aiken rather, and yes, that's the view taken by both the linesman and the referee. The free kick to Celtic. Well, even the Hibs players now seem to acknowledge that they haven't a real prospect of saving the semi-final now. Just 1 minute left. Kick is given for that challenge by Grant on Evans. Tortolano's in a hurry. McCarthy's headed away. This is Miller. Good understanding of the start. Walker to Miller. There's Evans looking for Collins, and McCarthy read that early, going across to win possession. May finish up out of the field, but out of play. Yes, McCarthy wastes a few seconds before turning it out for the throw to Hibs. There's Archibald laying it back for Tortolano. There's Mitchell. There's Graham Mitchell coming all the way himself on his left foot. Inside it goes to Houchin. And Aiken drags the ball away from Gareth Evans. Aiken on the counter-attack now with McGee in the clear on the left. Walker, Aiken and Miller wait in the middle. Chance for Celtic to finish with a flourish. Maybe overdoing it though, allowing Hunter to make the tackle. Well, a match finishing. A little bit of additional action. And Hibs really could have pulled one back. Well, they deserve great credit, Ian, for making their contribution in the second half, don't they?
Well, once they got their defence organised, when they made that substitution, they got organised the way they have. They've done well, the Hibs, in the second half. They've been equal at Celtic and had a chance there just a couple of minutes ago. Again, Houchin looked a bit heavy-legged when the ball was running in the box.
So we've had 1 minute of time added on at the end of the match for stoppages, and it's a free kick to Hibs. They're very anxious to get another goal, even though it may not be enough. There's Neil off, lighting it in. Up goes Ray, and it's taken well by Pat Bonner, but Keith Houchin had crept into an offside position, so it wouldn't have counted, I don't think. It's a free kick to Celtic. Pat Bonner may well have the last kick of the game. The referee is checking with both linesmen. Noise building up from the Celtic fans, and indeed there goes the final whistle. Celtic the winners by 3-1, and Jim White has with him the Celtic manager Billy McNeil.
Billy McNeil, straight after the final whistle, 3-1 to Celtic. You're in another final. You must be delighted with that.
Well, I am, because obviously the cupboard was very bare. When it came to picking the team, I really had to look about and stretch our resources to the maximum. I felt the first half belonged to us exclusively. The fact that Hibs came back, I think, just indicates that they're a good side. And although we lost the goal early in the half, we never looked as though we were going to lose another one. I felt the first half we were magnificent, and the final beckons now. We're going to enjoy it.
When you went 3-0 up, Billy, it looked as if a rout was on, didn't it?
Well, it could have been. Half-time, unfortunately, came at the wrong time for us, and I think it breaks the momentum, and it did today. But other than the goal that we lost, which one or two of the boys were questioning that, other than that, we played comfortable at the back. We never looked at losing another one. Indeed, we could have added to the score.
Steve Fulton, man of the match. You must be well pleased about that.
Yes, I'm delighted for an 18-year-old to come in at this level and play so well. Particularly, you'll see that his hand's bandaged. We suspect he may have broken a bone in his hand. But it's lovely to see him come in and do well.
Billy, delighted for you. Great Celtic performance today. Many congratulations and thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
So a very happy Celtic manager Billy McNeil, and some very happy Celtic supporters leaving Hampden Park after this tremendous semi-final. Ian St John, you haven't seen a semi-final live for a long time. What do you think of that?
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it, Jock. I thought the football in the first half from Celtic was absolutely brilliant. Well executed goals. I thought the second half performance by Hibs made the second half, because it made Celtic battle a bit. And overall, I thought it was a terrific 90 minutes, and I must say I thoroughly enjoyed the match.
So that's the position here at Hampden. Celtic the winners by 3-1. The goals coming from Mick McCarthy, Mark McGee and Andy Walker inside the first half hour. Steve Archibald getting one back in the second half for Hibs, and a great fight back. But Celtic held on comfortably. Steve Fulton winning the Sponsors Man of the Match award. So it's Celtic who go through to the final on the 20th of May. We'll be there all right. Don't go away.